Let's talk about history's biggest bubble, the facade of American supremacy. I call it a facade because the word cooperation does not seem to exist in the American dictionary. The United States has always ignored the role of other nations in its agenda for hegemony. It does not know how to take friends along. Every time the US faces a crisis, it has one policy for itself and a completely different one for the rest of the world. What's worse is that we've allowed this country to impose its view, its interests, and its values on whoever it wants, however it wants. Let's not repeat this mistake during this pandemic. America needs to know how badly it is dependent on the rest of us. This is Beyond Edit tonight. We are discussing the collapse of the American leadership and the end of its supremacy. There has been a good deal of talk in the last 24 hours about Trump's statement on India. We are being told that we are blaming him for a response that has been better than most. The POTUS, we are being told, has a habit of talking tough. Talking tough. Only he was this tough in his own backyard. He wouldn't be talking about how India is allegedly taking advantage. Look at this tweet now. This was posted last night by Donald Trump himself. I'm quoting it. Listen very carefully. Wisconsin, get out and vote now for Justice Daniel Kelly. Protect your Second Amendment. He wants the people of Wisconsin to exercise their right to vote. What about the right to live? He seems to be forgetting that minor detail. 13,000 Americans have died due to this pandemic. 2,500 cases and 77 deaths are from Wisconsin alone, where he's sending people to vote. This state beats the nationwide figure of some countries. But the US president wants the people of the state to defy the lockdown. Yes, there is a lockdown there. He wants Americans to stand in queues and to risk their lives to vote. Look at these visuals now. This really is the strangest thing I've seen in a while. Thousands of Americans lining up to vote in Milwaukee. These pictures tell the story of a dangerous disconnect, a myopic leader, and a country that cannot register the crisis staring them in the face. America's condition is abysmal right now, especially for the wealth it has. The healthcare system is in a sorry state. It was once considered among the best in the world. It isn't anymore. Hospitals are overflowing. Soccer stadiums, churches, convention centers, even ships are being converted into makeshift hospitals. The financial capital of the world, New York, has now turned into a virus capital. It has 76,000 cases, more than 4,000 deaths. The figure may increase by the time I conclude this report, unfortunately. So what is the US government doing besides asking people to defy lockdowns? It is piling up body bags, buying ventilators from sanctioned Russian firms, and blowing hot and cold with India over hydroxychloroquine. America wants supplies from outside, but has itself banned the export of face masks. I'll conclude by showing you this. Comments by Henry Kissinger, Trump's fellow Republican and the famous national security advisor in the Nixon administration. He says, and I'm quoting, "The coronavirus pandemic will forever alter the world order." It's a short read, but a good lesson in how America needs to fix its priorities. Let me quote some excerpts. Donald Trump should listen to this. "The reality is the world will never be the same after the coronavirus. Addressing the necessities of the moment must ultimately be coupled with a global collaborative vision. Restraint is necessary on all sides in domestic politics and international diplomacy. To argue now about the past only makes it harder to do what has to be done. And most importantly," he says, "priorities must be established." We can only wait and see how the pandemic changes the world, but one thing can be said safely. Among the casualties will be America's so-called supremacy.